How about the Panthers?
First road win in a while.
You have the one in New York, but
Yeah, that didn't count.
Well, let's talk a little bit about running backs then.
Oh shit! Here we go.
Segue.
Let's talk a little bit about running backs. Y'all want to talk about running backs? Let's talk about running backs.
Yeah.
Which is crazy because our O-line of health, and look where we're at. We're up in the 78 range for
but they
run by grade.
But that's one thing.
We dealt with it for multiple years. The Chargers haven't. The Chargers had.
But that's one thing that people keep putting over too is no matter what our arrangement has been over these last few weeks, we've still been very productive and been able to play pretty cohesive. So, a lot of props have been given to offensive line coaching.
Yes.
No,
right. In run pro. Yeah.
Not pass pro.
Well,
but in run pro.
hey.
Well, Icky
handled
island, boy.
Dude, he handled Micah.
Pass pro. That's the first game in Micah Parsons' career he did not have an impression.
Yeah, I actually watched the clip.
That's
The guy breaking it down. They were very impressed with the fact that Icky was able to hold him to what he did. But again, Bryce only had 18 attempts, so it's not like he
wasn't out there pass blocking 40 times. Yes.
Correct.
But he did his job.
And he wasn't holding the ball. Yeah.
Yeah.
They just didn't put the game plan was very it was very thought out.
Canales did. This is probably one of the best games I've seen him call. Honestly,
right?
Yeah,
just the game plan
as the head
in general.
coach.
Yeah,
both
game
sides,
plan in
actually.
general. Yeah,
no, for sure. You got to give EJ his props. But I'm talking about offensively. Obviously, it wasn't the big explosive plays, but as a game plan, one of the better ones I've seen him call. He did the right thing. He obviously success beside the number 2 guy right there, as you see, Rico Dowdle. As long as that dude's rolling, I mean, that's what runs this offense right now. He is the engine of this offense.
Yeah, just to continue kind of explaining it says yards over expected per attempt. Your number 1 guy right now is about 1.45 is James Cook. I mean, he's at the top of the chart here for yards over expected per attempt.
Correct.
With the fourth, so with the 4th best run defense or run offensive line. Dowdle is with the 3rd best run offensive line. McCaffrey and the 49ers is 2nd, and then the Rams, they're the best run pro offensive line in the league right now. And somehow their guys are kind of in the middle of the pack a little bit when it comes to yards over expected. So
that's crazy that they're both right there together.
Right, they're pretty much the same same
I was
players.
going to say the same guys, same style.
This chart, by the way, is via Computer Cowboy, which is at Ben Baldwin or Ben B. Baldwin on X, just to give him his props.
Yeah. What's this here, Seth? Let's take a peek at this.
It's PFF grades from this past week.
Okay. Ooh, Roseman went kind of crazy.
Yeah, 15 tackles.
First player since Luke Kuechly to have back-to-back 12
double digits. Yeah.
Double-digit tackles.
Wano had a decent game. We're scoring at. How did he only get 13th? My man was out there hustling.
Told you Damian Lewis
He's
thing.
got a good hustle.
Majority of the game.
Yeah, Lewis was out for a while.
Yeah.
He missed a good chunk. Then he came back. Yeah. How about Yosh Injaman? Holy. Right tackle?
Yeah.
Yeah, they have done I can't complain on what they've done with the O-line. They've done for what we have to deal with, they've done pretty damn good with the O-line.
Yeah.
Jimmy Horn with the 2 touches, 5th on the team.
Who?
And, Jimmy Horn. Barely even got the ball, but he had a very good game just behind Tataroa.
It's so frustrating.
Hey, Kurin. How do you say that?
Oh, yeah. Corhan.
Yeah, got to come in, guard.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Played a pretty decent little night. He was ninth.
Yeah. Y'all
said Icky was cooking. My man's is struggling. Boy, 52.8.
He was handling Parsons.
He was handling Parsons pretty damn well.
He's handling the best guy in the league.
Was Parsons out there on the left the whole time? I saw him going up the middle most of the time.
No, they were talking about any time he lined up on Icky's side.
Yeah.
Icky shut him down.
Iggy shut him down.
I'd like to see the numbers on that.
Yeah,
I'd definitely like to see the numbers on that.
No. Well, we know he had 0 pressures.
Yeah. But I think that was just we ran the ball and then we were just playing quick game, which was like when you listen to anybody talk about the game plan on how to beat them, it was just a quick game.
Just beat one of the best teams in the NFL.
A very high school game plan, but yes, I agree. I mean,
why was it a high school game? We hadn't even talked about it. It's because of the freaking weather.
Right.
I mean, we want to look. Jordan Love had to deal with that weather the same. He was nowhere near as good as what we've seen him be all season long. He was the Packers were out there dealing with the weather. The commentators even brought it up. Olsen a couple times said, "I don't know why they keep running the ball here." So Green Bay's out there dealing with that weather too. We just played. The weather played into our hands. It forced the game on the ground. It limited the amount of opportunities you were going to have down the field. Love still tried to take them.
Should have
couldn't get the ball down there. He couldn't get the ball down there.
No,
I'm good. Hey, there was 3 weeks ago. I was like, I don't know if we're winning 5 games, and then we had 2 still against the Saints. And now I'm looking like, well, we're going to definitely win 7. We better win 7. If we win 3 and we get to 8, it's a good season to me. I'm happy with it.
Because you're seeing progression, right? That's what we all want to see. We can't win 3 games. We can't win 5 games. We can't win 7 games next year. That's the same thing. Let's say we win 8 games this year. Where's our threshold for 2026? Right?
Gotta have a successful draft class because now we're depending on the draft.
But not even, because the expectations are still higher because of what we did this year. If we win 8 games, we go 8-9. Your expectations next year is to win more.
Okay, but
I
think
if you're an 8 or 9 win team, depending on the draft.
No, if you're an 8 or 9 win teams, you see more movement in free agency. You start to see these guys going.
You can't just make that an automatic. Like, well, listen, we had a great offseason this year. It doesn't guarantee we're going to have a good offseason next year.
5 and 12 teams.
And it doesn't mean we're not. It doesn't mean
we've had 2 back-to-back good free agent seasons.
Yeah,
I mean, we rebuilt our offensive line. We rebuilt our defensive line this year.
Yeah.
I mean,
I agree with that.
And aside from injury,
improve our secondary this year.
Yeah, and it's not like we went and got a bunch of old guys. I mean, these guys are guys are going to be here 3 or 4 years. We went and got guys that can be a core of something getting built, because I think when you get Dave and Dan together, their purpose was say, hey, we got to come in. We have to start from somewhere. And I think that's where you're seeing, the leash, back off a little bit from Tepper. It's like, hey, but we have to have a starting point. I mean, they came in and they just said, all right, we're hitting the reset button for real, and we're going to try to do something. And back on not getting on Bryce, I do agree with both you and Seth. Like, Bryce is going to be here for a second tender. I just don't know what that's going to look like.
And I don't even care about the money. Like, as long as there's progression happening, I'm going to be okay with it. Look, we do not have to have a top 5 quarterback.
No,
you don't have to have him.
You don't need it.
If he can get into, again, like I've said before, if he can get into 15 to 12 range, I'd be perfectly fine with that, because we've had a whole lot worse. Yeah, I'd be perfectly fine 15 to 12 range.
And if you have a guy that good, you're going to be winning.
Mm-hmm.
You may not be 12-5, but you're going to be a winning team.
Yeah.
Well, it depends on what you put around him too.
There's a lot to do with the consistency 100%. Of his play in that position. He's been very inconsistent for 3 years.
But the consistency is that's what I'm saying.
The inconsistency has not only been him, it's been everything.
But inconsistencies,
his inconsistency is consistently top 3 in 2 of those 3 categories.
Yes, and accuracy of a ball. But that doesn't mean
literally his
decision making. That doesn't mean he's holding on to the ball and he gets sacked and he fumbles.
But that's not even it's like we're going back down the rabbit hole. I think when it comes down to it, this is the thing. When it comes down to it, there's fans on both sides of the spectrum. There's the fans that are going to say, "Hey, I'm going to give you these numbers, and you're going to look at this." But then there's going to be the ones that say, "Hey, you know what? Visually, it ain't it right now," and that's okay.
I just had a Green Bay Packers fan say, hey, that game on the stat sheet looked like shit, but Bryce had a phenomenal game against the Packers. And
because he didn't make a
mistake.
mistake. He didn't make a mistake.
Right, but the only mistake was the wind. Seth made a great point. Was that
Dave Canales
that was
made
the
that
worst.
point.
That was the worst freaking pass I've ever seen him throw. And
I
was just like,
that was weird.
I was sitting on the couch drinking a beer, like, what the fuck was that? I've never seen him throw a pass like that. And I was seriously completely stumped. I thought that ball was going to the back pylon, and it came to the almost hit. It was almost in the middle of the end zone. I was like, there is no way he just threw a pass like that because he doesn't throw like that. He's never that inaccurate. Never.
Look, like I told y'all, that Mike Jack interception drop is the same corner. Is the same corner of the field. Right. And I swear to God, that wind caught the ball, and that's why Mike Jack didn't catch it, because he was expecting it to stick, and it didn't stick. It just fell. He didn't get the catch because it didn't stick, and he was expecting to stick. And I think the wind was a big issue down there.
Yeah. After the game, that question was asked of what happened with the interception in the end zone, Bryce Young, and Dave said he said we have to go back and look at it, but the wind had something to do with that down there.
Look, so, I gotta say this too, because a lot of people, man, the first thing, like, people were off on Green Bay. Like, they're like, Green Bay lost to the Panthers. Like, they are not what we thought they were. Like, they go out there people are not paying attention to what the weather was on that field that day. They're not paying attention to it. Love throwing those deep balls, and they couldn't even get it down there. And he was throwing with the wind, but y'all know how wind is when it comes through those stadiums. Yeah. I mean, there's crosswinds, the wind swirls. Like, there's all kinds of things that happen to affect that ball's trajectory. So people want to come out and be like, the Packers are not who we thought they were. No, they probably are. It's just the weather was that bad. So, I mean, again, on both both teams, you cannot come at them and look at that game and expect regular numbers out of that game.
No. I mean, and it's still the Packers lost to the Panthers. The Panthers didn't beat the Packers. You know what I mean? It's a narrative that people still want to write about the Panthers. I mean, I told you.
Didn't we force 2 turnovers? We had an interception and a forced fumble. Right?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, because it was inside the 10. It was inside the 10, and Roseboom got that forced fumble.
Yeah.
And 21.
I mean, because they averaged. I mean, the Packers still averaged 55 yards a drive.
By the way,
they still averaged 55 yards a drive. They were they got in the red zone 5 times. They were 1 for 5 in the red zone.
I got to give my credit.
It was small plays that changed the outcome of that game.
I got to give my credit to Nick Scott on that play. I mean, he blew that play up. I know I'm especially really hard on Nick Scott, but
Scorton,
man,
Scott.
I'm very hard on Nick Scott. I mean, he came and he blew that lead blocker up on that screen pass, and drove the blocker into the receiver, Williams. Right? Is that his last name, Williams?
I think so. I don't know. You talking about the rookie receiver?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know his name.
83.
Savion Williams.
Because he's the one who caught the screen, and he drove that lead blocker back into him, and then that's when he's trying to get around him, and he's barely able to kind of get through, and that's when Roseboom just comes in, boom, and it all started because of Nick Scott, and then Nick Scott obviously picked up the fumble. So, got to give him his credit. I mean, he has had a shit year, but that particular play, that was all Nick Scott. And then I got to give my kudos on the interception that was dropped by Mike Jack. Should have been a pick 6, 105-yarder. Derek Brown on that play. Holy shit. I don't know if y'all watched it, but when he ripped through the Garden Center right off the snap. And this is the type of stuff we need to see more consistently. You know, we'll talk about consistency. That's the stuff we need to see more consistently.
Yeah, but the defense has been the most consistent thing for this team this year.
Right,
and Derek Brown's been playing out.
Yeah, he's been playing.
Derek Brown's been playing out.
He's been balling. I'm more so talking about his pass rush ability. Yeah. He's got it.
I'm not worried about it.
That's what needs to be shown. We need pass rush. We're still one of the worst pass rushing defenses in the league. That's what I'm talking about.
Not getting sacks.
I'm not talking about our defense being a liability. They're better than they were last year. I'm saying, as a pass rush, to take that next step, what we need to see at the end of the year, all of the things I'm talking about, everything I'm talking about, to see that stretch to the end of the year, to make those strides, there are things that we have to see more consistently, and that's DB being a pass rusher, Trayvon Wharton, Turk Wharton, being a better pass rusher. He had a sack this week. Great job. He bull rushed the guard, ripped through it, boom, sack. Derek Brown didn't get the sack on that play, but he was the reason that play happened because he ripped through the guard, ripped through that A-gap, and Jordan Love immediately had to bail the pocket. That is the type of stuff we need to see. Another shout-out, Scorton. I know he's great. He was like a 53, but that dude, I'm telling you, I don't know why he only got a 53 grade. That guy has probably the most hustle on our defense. Mm-hmm. That dude does not stop moving. He plays to the whistle. And
between him and Derek Brown, man, zigzagging, they're crossing the field in pursuit. I mean, that's what you want to see.
They don't stop, and that's the stuff. And he's not dominating as a pass rusher right now. I think it's in large part because quarterbacks are getting the ball out quick because the coverage short and intermediate is not very good. So it's making those open lanes to throw the football. And we play a predominantly zone defense. So they can just hit those little stops in between the zones, and we don't have the linebacker play to break on those footballs. So I think it's a little bit of a deficiency there on the skill or the linebackers defensively and the safeties. But
although I will say Trevin Wallace did play better this past week too.
Yeah, Trevin Wallace past couple weeks when it comes to coverage for pass coverage, he's been improved. But for the most part, I feel like our pass rush just can't get home. It's not that they're necessarily. I'm not seeing Scorton get stood up as much as I saw, DJ Wanham getting stood up. I'm seeing Scorton get the drive. I'm seeing him get his shoulder lean in. He's getting a good, clean pass rush. The problem is the ball's just always out before he can even get really the pressure going. Is that there's a lack of interior pressure? Is there like a lack of interior push? Maybe. That's why I'm saying we need to see more of that Derek Brown, because Derek Brown getting that interior push forced the entire play to completely get out of the pocket. And that's what you need. You need the interior pass rush. When you get that interior pass rush, the quarterback is going to have to bail.
I think he's one that's just getting better every game. He is impacting it further down. And that's another personnel decision. EJ's doing a good job with his personnel right now. He's starting to get the right guys in there and the right combination of what he needs on the field.
I'm seeing more of Ransom. I'm happy about that.
That's what I'm saying. So, we talked about this 3-4 weeks ago, Dean, and you were like, the guys on the field was give it time. It's coming, because what's happening with a roster like this is these guys are just, hey, your performance on the field is going to get you more playing time, and that's what we're seeing. And that's just on the defensive side. I'm seeing more of the personnel decisions being made over there.
I'm sitting on offense now. I mean, now that Dowdle's finally got the whistle, toting the rock. I'm seeing a lot more Jimmy Horn early, which is good. I mean, he had the shoulder injury last week in Buffalo.
Rounds. I need that's just.
But yes, I need to see.
It's the same thing. Come on, bro.
And it worked. It's working. Don't get me wrong, but we
work because he's fast.
But I know. But again, use your personnel the right way. Get him in those situations to use that speed, and that's the important part. It's knowing your personnel and utilizing it, and that type of stuff creates mismatches. But now you got to get him in the slot and let him do that across the middle of the field. Put him in those deep drag, those deep crossers that we have done so well in the past. That Bryce, that's probably his signature throw. He's got one signature of a shoulder dip and release, and then he's got that deep crosser. You get those deep crossers back in this game plan, and you doing that to a guy who runs a 4.2, 4.3 or whatever, I mean, you're going to be having 3 or 4 strides on them, because them deep crossers are usually wide open when they're calling them and drawing them up. I don't know if they're just saving the playbook for that back half like they did last year. I don't know what the game plan looks like and why they're doing this, because this is completely different than we saw in the previous season. I don't know, but I do think that we have so much more potential, even with the lack of talent. If you just use what you have correctly and put the right guys on the field.
Yeah, and I still think just because of injuries and people, moving back and forth from inactive to active and all that, I still think that there's some trying to figure out where everybody needs to go for the best to be the most successful. How everybody meshes. I think that's still being figured out. Maybe some of that has to do with, understanding concepts and stuff like that. But I do feel like we're moving in a positive direction. We definitely look better than what we did early in the season. And that's really, both sides of the ball. But my biggest thing with this team is just being able to see consistency and be able to, be able to see that we look like we belong out there, that we're not getting, manhandled and doing stupid stuff repeatedly and all that and just being out of place. That happened a lot early on this season. And I think it's just a lot of inexperience and just not being comfortable with who they're out there on the field with. And I think that's starting to iron itself out through the season.
Yeah. I think it comes down, you want to see a balance, consistency from both sides of the ball. It's like where you're from the time that timer stops to it hits zero, consistent balance across the board. Because, it's coming. We're going to see these teams coming up. They're going to have one job, and it's going to be to stop Rico Dowdle. And what do we do then? And that's where the balance and, like you said, having the right players on there to find success is going to be the biggest factor for us down the stretch, because what we thought was the toughest part of the schedule is actually coming up. We thought it was the first half, but no, it's coming up.
I think we all kind of agreed that the first half
first half was our easier part.
That was the cake.
Well, the first few games, but then we had this patch, this in between where we, obviously we thought Miami would be a little better. We thought Dallas would be a little better than they were right now, and they're not as good as we figured the Jets would be better with Jalen, whatever his name is, Joseph Fields, but they wasn't. Those teams are, like Seth said earlier, they became some of the worst in the league, for what we were doing. The teams we have coming up are playoff teams. They have shown it all year long. So the toughest part of the schedule is coming up now.
That's what I'm saying. If we get those two against the Saints that we got left, and we pick up one more win, we're at 8.
They just got rid of
me, man.
They got rid of Shaheed.
Yeah,
they got rid
of.
He's
been getting targeted pretty heavy.
Solid.
They got rid of a big threat. So speaking of this week,
and he's burned us. He definitely got us last year.
Oh yeah. Exposed that defense.
Mm-hmm.
No, I agree. And that's going to help us out this week. I'm glad that I'm glad he's no longer a Saint. That's for sure.